Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in the Cessna 152. We have a 157 nautical mile flight from 5 Bravo 2, Saratoga County, to Mike Tango Papa, Montauk. In our last couple flights, we used pilotage to get to where we're going. Today we've got a longer flight, and we're going to use VFR navigation. We've got live weather and live time, and we should have an arrival just around sunset. Should be an awesome flight, so let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. We are flying with Monica, our co-pilot, as always, and we are here at the awesome freeway airport of Saratoga County. So we'll start by verifying that all of our switches are off, our circuit breakers are in, our car beats in, throttle idle, mixture to idle cutoff, and we'll just bump those a little bit on my joystick to make sure that the joystick is matching the setting. There we go, that looks good. Our trim is to take off. Head down here and check our fuel selector. Get the fuel selector to the on position. Check that the prop is clear. We'll open up the window. Clear prop. Head back down here. Turn on the battery and the alternator. Check fuel tank left, right are showing full tank. That looks good. We'll get the beacon on. Mixture into full rich. Crack the throttle. We'll prime it. 1, 2, 3 strokes of the primer. Looks good. Prop is still clear. Feet are on the brakes. Keys in the ignition. Crank it over. Alright, we've got a good start. Bring the RPMs down to 1,000. Alright, now we'll lean the mixture for ground operations. We'll head over here to the window next, and we can close it. It's pretty cold out. Lock that. Looks good. So next we can get COM 1, COM 2 on. We'll get our transponder to standby. Get our taxi and landing light on.
Albany International Airport arrival / departure information Alpha 20510. Wind 310 at 11. Visibility 10. View clouds at 4,400 to 5,000 scattered. Temperature -1, dew point -15. Altimeter 2983. ILS runway 01 approach in use. Notice to air mission. Cambridge VOR out of service.
I prefer to run with live weather, and if the real-world ATIS is available from a nearby airport on liveatc.net, I'll definitely use it in-game. It should match up, and it gives you a lot of flavor just hearing everything else that's part of the ATIS for airport operations. So as we get all of our frequencies dialed in, I'll open up for flight and take you through the flight brief. So we are departing from Saratoga County, which is an untowered field north of Albany. If we open up the weather and look at the TAF, it's pretty windy at 18 to 21 knots. However, the actual ATIS was 11 knots. Looking forward in time, it becomes less and less windy. We're departing the pattern to the east, overflying Saratoga Lake, the Hudson River, and heading for Cambridge VOR. Then we'll turn southeast and fly the radial from Cambridge to Chester VOR. We've got a bunch of towns along the way, such as Williamstown and Pittsfield, that we can use as ground references to know that we are on track. Once we arrive at Chester VOR, then we're going to fly the next radial from Chester to Hartford VOR. Along the way, we've got some ground references, such as Westfield Barnes. Class Delta will be overflying Bradley International, which is a Class Charlie. Then we'll arrive at Hartford. Turn again and fly the radial to Groton VOR, which is directly over Groton New London Airport, which is a Class Delta, and then we'll turn and fly our final radial directly to Montauk. If we look at Montauk, it's 310 at 9 knots. Sky's clear, sky's clear, sky's clear, so it looks pretty good. We should be arriving right around sunset based on the calculations for this trip. As we dial in our radials for our VORs, it might be tempting to look at 4Flight's first leg highlighted at the top of the screen under 5 Bravo 2 and see the 104 magnetic and think that's the 104 magnetic radial to Cambridge, but that has wind correction in it. The actual radial to Cambridge is 111 without wind correction, so it's important not to confuse those, and when we dial in our first heading here, we're going to set our CDI1 to 111 degrees. Alright, make our CTAF call and get going. Saratoga traffic, Cessna 565 Whiskey, taxi from the ramp to runway 32, hold short, Saratoga. Everything looks clear, parking brake is released. Here we go. I love all the detail in this freeway airport, so be sure to check out the video details if you'd like to download a copy for yourself. We're here at the hold short lines, so we'll stop and do a quick run-up. Alright, parking brake is set. Flight controls, elevator up, elevator down, left rudder, right aileron down, left aileron down. Next we'll get the mixture into full rich, bring the RPMs up to 1700. Do our mag check. And this is a lot easier since getting my new joystick because I've got bindings for mag left and mag right. Got a good drop with mag left, come back to both. Another good drop. Back to both, and we have a carbureted engine, so we'll check carb beat out, look for the drop. Good drop, carb beat back in. Go to engine idle, make sure it doesn't quit, do the same thing with the carb beat. Check left and right, make our CTAF. Saratoga County, Cessna 565 Whiskey, departing runway 32. We'll be doing a left downwind departure from the pattern to the east at 5,500 Saratoga County. I am not sure what that thing was that was sitting there. It looked like a light, maybe. Alright. Get ourselves all lined up. Bring in the power. Gauges look good. Airspeed's alive. Going up to rotate speed. And hey, that was nice and smooth. I'm surprised when that happens when it's windy in the sim. Usually it's a few seconds of terror before getting stabilized. Alright, we're going to pitch for a normal VY climb. And we're going to fly a circuit around the pattern here and just keep on climbing because we're facing the wrong direction. A little bouncy here, not too bad. Alright, we can make our left crosswind turn. Saratoga County, Cessna 565 Whiskey, left crosswind, runway 32, Saratoga. In hindsight, because the destination field is to our south, in my mind, I'm going to use the downwind to head south and then hang a left once I'm clear of the field. But it probably would have been better just to do a straight out departure here, get some distance from the field, and hang a right to the east because my first waypoint is to the east. That would have taken me completely out of the pattern. Live and learn, it's one of those things I thought of as I'm doing the voiceover here for the final video. Alright, we are far enough and high enough now that we can put the autopilot on. We're in heading mode, so we'll use a heading to track our intercept to the radial, and as I see the CDI center, we'll flip it over to nav mode and then use the autopilot to fly the radial to Cambridge. We're on track, so let's sit back and enjoy that awesome flight simulator scenery. Alright, let's run through the debrief as we get everything shut down here. So that was a long flight at 150 plus miles. It was as long as my long solo cross country I had to do, which was 152 nautical miles. And in a little C152, that took a bit of flying to get there. It was fun doing it entirely with VFR navigation, so I hope you enjoyed seeing that as well. And be sure to give it a shot with a plane like the 152. So I hope you enjoy realistic general aviation content like this. If you do, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.